Benny and the Jets.
What's going on, everybody? It's been a while, but we're back with another Elton John album review. Got Nick and Jason joining me again, and Scott is now back joining us. Now let's talk about Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, starting with the
background information.
All right, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. This was released in 1973 on October 5th. His second studio album that year following Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. He recorded this album in the Chateau de Perouville.
Same place he recorded the Honky Chateau.
That makes sense. In France. And the inspiration for the album was actually the locale of the location he was recording the album in. This album wasn't originally planned to be a double album, but because he recorded and wrote so many songs around this time, it was decided to make it a double album, and the rest is history. As of 2014, it's eventually gone to 8 times platinum. So this is a huge selling album, and still is a popular album on this very day, especially in the classic rock world. All right, so what are everybody's brief thoughts on Goodbye Yellow Brick Road?
I mean, it goes without saying, it is a classic among classics. It's very similar to the White Album, where it's like you don't know what you're going to get next.
This is like just peak Elton John. I mean, just the playing, the singing, the just catchy songs, the hits. Obviously, one of his best albums of all time. And we've been talking about great albums, but to me, it's like, man, this is just him at his best.
This album gives you everything in the kitchen sink. Throwing in some different stuff like synthesizers. He's starting to use synthesizers. I think that's really cool. Playing around with studio sounds. Yeah, like Nick said, this is probably Elton John's White Album because of all of the different stuff that he does. He's just trying all this stuff, and I think it's funny that Jacob said that he wasn't planning on making a double album. He must have had like just that much good stuff to put onto this album that he's like, I can't cut any of it.
All right, so I've heard nothing but great things about this album, so going in, I was excited to check out the full album because I just knew the big hit songs. And yeah, this album is as great as everybody says it is. Even as a double album, this is probably the best double album I've listened to. All right, well, let's go into the track listing. We start off with the 11-minute album opener. Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah, this is a very great way to open up the album. It kind of opens up ominously, but then it just gets going, and this is a really epic song to open up the album. I remember when I first heard the song, I had no idea what to expect from the song. It's just one of those songs that just kept getting better and better as the song kept going on. Long story short, this is definitely a top 5 on the album for me.
Yeah, interesting opener. I don't get what's going on here though. It's like 2 songs, but they're one because there's like a slash in between. And I'm like, man, why not just split them up into 2 songs? Like, one is Funeral for a Friend, 2 is Love Lies Bleeding. Because it's, I don't know, I wish, because it's, of course it's so long because it's 2 songs. And the first half is the Funeral for a Friend, which is just instrumental. And of course, me, I'm like, I don't care for this instrumental. I'm kind of bored with it. I'm kind of like, let's move on. And then when it kicks into the second part, Love Lies Bleeding, it's like, oh my gosh, this is a really good song. I love this second of this with that song coming in. Oh man, super upbeat, great piano playing, great vocals. I mean, Elton John's singing so well on this. Great backing vocals, super nice, catchy song. definitely, I would say Love Lies Bleeding is one of my favorite songs on the album, but then it combines with Funeral for a Friend, so it's like half of a good song because of that. So I'm kind of mixed on it. It's like, I wish I can just listen to Love Lies Bleeding. That's so good.
This is basically like the overture to the album. Back in the day, whenever like people were writing like operas and stuff like that, you would have an overture that would be like a little instrumental introduction before the show began. Pete Townsend used it on Tommy as well, but in the overture, normally what you do is you would like introduce some of the themes that are going to be later heard in the album and condense them into one thing. Like that, they do that on Tommy. That's not what they're doing here. None of the themes in this song are explored later on the album, but I feel like Elton John wrote enough catchy little hooks in this overture kind of thing here, Funeral for a Friend, that he could have wrote songs off of each of them. This thing is epic. I saw him do this live, Funeral for a Friend with Love Lies Bleeding. It was the start of the second half of his show. Like he changed into a completely different outfit. And it was like the craziest 11 minutes I've ever seen. It was insane. I loved every minute of it. So this starts out with like wind blowing sound effects and an ominous bell tolling in the background, like dong, dong, and then like the synthesizer comes in. It's just like doo 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 doo, and then it's just like a orchestra of synthesizers just start up, and then like the band kicks in. It's like dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 and then like the drumming by Nigel Olsson, great. The Davy Johnstone on the guitar, and the guy who's doing the synthesizers, funny enough, is David Henschel, who 3 years later would produce A Trick of the Tail for Genesis. Fun fact. Wow. But once you get through the epic instrumental overture thing, it's just like dun 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 dun. Yeah, Dee Murray is on fire on the bass on this whole album, by the way. We're gonna have some Dee Murray appreciation here. This is like, and it's like down 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 down. Your love lies bleeding in my hand. Yeah, then you get into the Love Lies Bleeding song. Man, so good. It's one of the best up tempo rock songs on this album. And like I was talking about earlier, Dee Murray is on fire on this track. Oh my gosh, he's so good. Elton's piano. It's just a great rocker to open up the album. And real quick, before we get to the next song, I usually like to talk about the packaging of the album, because Elton John, man, all of his albums got this elaborate packaging. When you bought an Elton record, it's not just about the music. Look at this. It's a triple gatefold. And each of the songs has been illustrated with all of the lyrics for you. So there's a little picture that represents each of the songs, and you can read the lyrics while you're listening.
Yeah.
The Funeral for a Friend one is this song right here with the cross and the book and the rose. I'm not going to show the picture for each one of them, but I just want to show that just to show how great of a package this is. It's not just about the music, it's the whole package, like the art as a whole. But yeah, great way to open up the album.
So I think I might have heard this song before listening to this album. I think I might have heard it once or twice on a classic rock station. To be honest, I don't think until listening to the full album, I don't think I got past the Funeral for a Friend part, because I thought this whole song was an instrumental going in.
Yeah.
It has a really cool introduction. I think it sets up the unpredictability of this album very well. The synthesizers on the beginning are awesome, and there's some great piano playing and great stuff from the band all around. But I'm kind of with Jason. Not that I hate the intro. The intro is still pretty good. Once he starts singing Love Lies Bleeding, that's where the song really takes off. And I think it's one of his more underrated songs. I kind of wish Love Lies Bleeding was a hit single, because I think it could have been a great hit single if it was.
Pretty much every song on this album could have been a big hit single if Elton
would
have
there's
released.
Another one that I'll get to. I'm like, there was one that I wish was a hit single, like, because I thought it was that good.
I swear, if Elton would have released every song from this album as a single, they probably would have charted somewhere.
Yeah.
Even if it was lower, they probably would have charted, just because that's how good this album is.
But yeah, this is a great song. We're doing top 10 for this one because this is a double album. This one is in my top 10. All right. We get our first hit song on the album next. Candle in the Wind.
Yeah, this is an incredible follow-up song to that big epic on the album. Name checking a lot of people, and I know something to do with Marilyn Monroe. I think has something to do with this song.
Yeah.
Um, it has a nice chorus, "Candle in the Wind." It's nice. I'll say though, never been one of my favorites on the album. It's not a top 10 for me personally, but I enjoy it though. It's a good song.
Yeah, this is obviously one of his biggest hits and most played songs on the radio. And yeah, I love it. It's a beautiful ballad. Piano playing is so good on here. Um, and then just like, yeah, incredible melody. And what an incredible song about Marilyn Monroe. Also, her name is Norma Jean. So he's goodbye, Norma Jean, though I never knew you at all. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. I love that he's singing about, somebody, yeah, he didn't know, but he's talking about, because if you know about Marilyn Monroe, she was the hugest star in the 50s. And then she, I believe, committed suicide in 61 or so. You know, fairly young age, very tragic, into one of the great female stars, we've ever had and most iconic. And kind of the songs to me is about, you know, how she became famous and fame kind of ruined her, and and how it probably ruins a lot of people that become famous, and they can't always take it. I don't know if that's exactly why Marilyn Monroe committed suicide, but I'm sure she was under a lot of pressure, and she was taking drugs, of course, probably, and just a lot of pressure from not just studios, but from people wanting her to be a certain, you know, they want her to be Marilyn Monroe. She's not Marilyn Monroe. She's Norma Jean, and but because she was Marilyn Monroe, I don't know. Fame can really, change you and can, you know, it's hard to be famous. I'm sure, for some people, and yeah. So I like that the song's about that, and so yeah, very lyrically just incredible. Talking about you had to change your name, and even when he died, the newspaper said Marilyn was found in the nude. So it's like even when he died, they still talked about you being Marilyn Monroe and being this beautiful icon, and never treating you like a human being. Like I don't know. So I don't know. To me, I just love the whole idea behind the story of Marilyn Monroe and fame and all that. And of course, he would rewrite this for Princess Diane when she died, and it became like the biggest hit of all time. I remember when that came out, and it was like when they put that single out, it like broke some kind of record, I think. Anyways, but yeah, I can go on and on, but I'll give it to you guys to talk more about it.
Everybody always talks about how good of a songwriter Elton John is, but I don't think anybody ever really gives Bernie Taupin his just dues. Bernie Taupin is one of the great lyricists. Marilyn Monroe, big actress in the 50s. This song is kind of talking about how she had a rough life. Bernie Taupin was kind of writing that he wished that cause, she died before he was born, I think, or he was at least a little young.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
But talking about how sometimes people didn't treat her like a human; they just thought of her as just attractive and not really a person. And Bernie Taupin here is saying I wish I could have gotten the chance to get to know you because I see you as more than just an attractive woman. I see you as a person, and I would have wanted to get to talk with you about treat you like a person and get to know you better because you were a candle in the wind. You never knew where to cling to whenever the wind sets in. That's an amazing line, by the way.
Oh, great line.
Man. Bernie Taupin, my goodness. And this isn't his only good lyric on this album. Man, this guy is all over the place on this album. So good. But I love the guitar line on here too. I've only been talking about the lyrics. I like the guitar. And the piano. Elton John's always really good on the piano. Great melody too. Goodbye, Norma Jean, though I never knew you at all. It seems to me like you live your life like a candle in the wind. So good. This song is amazing. Well, all the songs on here are amazing. But man, this is great.
All right. So this is a great song. I agree with Nick and actually everybody. This is an incredible song. Very fitting tribute to Marilyn Monroe. What's funny, the first time I heard this song, it wasn't the studio recording on this album. Elton did a live version in the late 80s. I think it's Live in Australia, I think is the name of the album. And that was the first version I heard on the radio. I think that live version charted. And I heard that on some radio stations. And that was how I got into the song. I went and heard the studio version after that. And to be honest, when I first heard the studio version, I was more disappointed in that version because I thought there was more emotion in the live version. And the live version was just a piano ballad.
Yeah.
But I've come around to the studio version. I still think it's written great. I love the backing vocals that add so much weight to the song. And even the guitar on it, which I thought was a distraction at first. I think there's some really cool guitar playing on the song that I do really like. I think overall, I still prefer the live version he did in '87 before his voice cracked and his voice got deeper. It's like right at the cusp of that. But the original Candle in the Wind is still really good. I got to give credit where credit is due. And this one's going in my top 5.
When I saw him play it live, he did it just him and the piano.
Yeah. Man.
All right, we got another hit song next.
You're muted.
You're on mute, Nick.
If I'm being honest, I really hate the Jets. They suck. Oh, we're talking about Benny and the Jets. Oh yeah, this song's great. I think this is a really strong song on the album. Yeah, it opens up with crowd noise, and
Yeah.
I'm like, is this a live song? That's what I thought. I'm like,
Yeah.
I actually thought it was a live song, and honestly, at first, I really didn't like this song, but ironically, the amount of times I've heard it on the freaking radio station, I've started to like it more and more. Actually,
What? You like this song more because they play it a lot on the radio?
because I started
Say it
to.
ain't so.
It's one of the rare times I've heard a song on the radio and I didn't hate it after listening to it. This is one of the songs that kind of needed the in-your-face radio play. So I thought this was an incredible song. Still didn't make my top 10, but it is a very iconic song, and I love the part where he goes, Benny and the Jets, or as I say, Aaron and the Jets. If you know, you know.
Yeah, I want to petition Elton John to change the title to Benny and the Chiefs for the playoffs, but
No, it's the Jets.
I don't know if that works.
Jets.
Chiefs. Except there's no Benny on the Chiefs, but that would have been great. Because Mahomes and Chiefs, that didn't really.
Patty and the Chiefs?
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Kelsey and the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Kelsey and the Chiefs, maybe. I don't know, but
Tay and the Chiefs. Oh wait, oops.
But yeah, being the Jets, obviously another huge hit for him. Song I've always enjoyed, of course. It's a song I've heard on the radio many times. But man, I have really loved this song lately. Like, the more I'm hearing the song, the more it's just jumping up my top songs for Elton John. And it's such a more fun, upbeat rocker kind of different than Count on the Wind. We got this great ballad and then kind of sad ballad, and then Benny Jets is such a fun, upbeat. And I think what I really love about the song is that piano, especially at the beginning with the bum 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 bum. I don't know. I love that. Love that when that kicks in at the beginning. I was like, oh, that's such a cool sound, that piano. And then his vocals are just so good, and it's so catchy. Of course, like you said, the Benny and the Jets, like, oh, it's so good. And then he hits some high notes. He goes into this high registry that he used to be able to, and it's like, man, Elton John's such a good singer. Like, I forget how good he was because he can't sing very good anymore. You know, he doesn't sing anymore now, but for a long time he hasn't been able to sing very good. But man, in his young days, man, he could sing and he could hit these high notes, and yeah. It's so catchy. It just stays in my head after I hear it. I love this song.
This song is epic. I love the piano intro. When I saw him live, this is what he opened with. And like
Really?
it started out because it was his farewell tour. It started
Yeah.
out with just like a little sound montage of just a bunch of clips of him live, and it's like, Elton, ladies and gentlemen, Elton John, and then all the light, it's like dun, 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 and all the lights went out, and there was a split second of silence, and it was pitch black. But then it went bah, and when the chord played, lights flashed, and then it went back off, and every time it went bah, the lights turned on, and then it went back on. So it was like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, and then whenever he hit the ba 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 and the drums went do do do, then the lights came on, and it was like, wow, this is so cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He said he doesn't sing as well now. He doesn't sing as well, but he can still put on a show. Man, I can only imagine what seeing him live back in the day was.
Oh my god.
That would have, man, what I'd give to see that. Well, I can on YouTube if I want to, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that piano intro. Bow, 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 dun, 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 dun. Hey kids, put your hands together. Spotlight's hitting something that been known to change the weather. Man, that's so cool. And then you get to the chorus. Candy and Ronnie, have you seen them yet? Oh, they're so spaced out. Benny and the Jets. Benny and the Jets. And then, like, whenever he hits those high notes, oh, Candy and Ronnie, have you seen them yet? Oh, you're so spaced out. And then there's this really cool piano solo in the middle. And then, like, you got this person going, like, doing this whistle thing. And I'm like, what is this? And then while they're doing that, there's, like, this synthesizer solo at the end while they're like he's trying to make it sound like this is a live song. It's a studio song. For the longest time, I thought that this was the live version. I'm like, I can't find the studio version of Benny and the Jets. And the thing on Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is replaced the studio version. I realized this is the studio version. He's just trying to make it sound live. He overdubbed crowd noises and even has people like clapping to make it sound like a crowd and the thing. But the synthesizer thing at the end, it's like that's super cool. I love this song. It's in my top 10.
Yeah. So this was my favorite Elton John song for the longest time. When I first heard it, I'm like, wow, this is like the coolest thing I've ever heard. Now I'm more partial to Tiny Dancer. But
good choice.
I still love this song. This is one of my favorite Elton John songs. I just love how unique it is. Yeah, I thought this was a live song too. And then when you listen, I'm like, oh, this is a cool live recording. I'm like, oh, he did that in the studio? What? But yeah, the piano playing is epic here. I love that piano riff. Boom, 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 boom. And the chorus is so great. I love the vocal work and even the high falsettos. It even has one of the funniest misquotes of a song of all time. She got electric boots. I'm blowing soup. Electric boots, you guys. Don't get too juvenile.
To quote Candle in the Wind, something more than sexual. Get your mind out of the gutter, Jacob.
But I love the falsetto at the end. And actually, my favorite part of the whole song is where Elton on his piano is like, it's like he's like,
yeah, he's just banging the crap out of it.
Yeah, this is easily in my top 5. I love this song. Well, we got 3 hit songs in a row.
Yeah.
Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jets, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, this is another, like as Jacob said, this is another hit song. It's another iconic song for a very good reason. It's very, I love the feel of it with the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. It's a really nice song. It's of the hit songs, is my favorite of the 4 big songs. Having that said, it barely missed my top 10. It was like 3 songs that were fighting to make my top 10, and none of the hit songs made my top 10. It was close battle between 3 songs, and I'll tell you this song, Benny and the Jets, and another song were fighting to make my top 10, and sadly the other 2 didn't quite make it. But just to let you know of how good this album is, Really, really good song.
I'm like, these 3 songs are my top 10 favorite Elton John songs of all time. And you're like, I didn't make my top 10 for the album. I'm like, what?
Well, remember Nick also said your song was his least favorite song on the debut.
I still stand by that.
I'm about ready to
I
fall.
don't.
I'm like, no, your top 10. Okay, that's interesting take. Yeah, this is man, this is just one of the greatest songs. I love Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Obviously, it's a huge hit, title song of the album. Man, just so good when he gets into that. Yeah, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. It's just a great melody. Yeah, I found my life in something like that, right? Found my something along the yellow brick road. Yeah, oh my gosh, when he hits those high notes, yeah, and the oh, that is like the best part of the song. It's so good. It's just it's just absolute delight of a song. Definitely one of his best.
I remember being in the car, listening to the radio, in a car that had a radio that like told you what song was on there. For some reason, like the radio waves when it caught it, like would tell you what song it was playing. And I remember my mom, who lived in the '70s, saying, "Oh, it's Elton John. I don't think I've heard this song before." And I was thinking, like, nowadays I'm looking back, how did you not hear this song when you lived in the '70s? But apparently she didn't hear it. It came on the radio and was like, I haven't heard this one. Let's see what this is. And I remember hearing it and thinking, this is amazing. Because that's back when I knew Elton John as the guy who did the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack. No more on that. But anyway, I remember this song being on the radio, and I was like, this is an amazing Elton John song. I got to hear this some more. So, like, every time I would hear this song on the radio, I thought it was amazing. Of course, when I was listening to Elton John's albums and found out it's on Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, along with Benny and the Jets and Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, I was like, that's the album I got to listen to. But anyway, man, this is a masterpiece of a song. The starting out with that little descending piano thing, boom, dum, 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 boom, ba dum, dum, dum. When I hear this song, all I can think about is this picture. Mm-hmm. Elton John kind of stepping into this yellow brick road painting on the wall and going down the yellow brick road. Kind of a sad story about a guy who grew up as a farmer and left for the city to kind of pursue his dreams, only to realize that people in the office, the corporate suits, kind of treat him like crap, and so he's going to go back to the farm, kind of comparing life in the city, like in the hopes that it gave him with going to see the Wizard and the Wizard of Oz. I think that's kind of an interesting comparison that Bernie Taupin writes. Some of the lyrics are a little harsh there at some of the people, like "I'm not a present for your friends to open." Like that's a really good line there. This boy's too young to be singing the blues. That's another really great line. Man, the chorus. Goodbye, yellow brick road, where the dogs of society howl. And another great line is you can't plant me in my ear. You can't plant. I'm gonna stop and start over. I gotta say it right. You can't plant me in your penthouse. I'm going back to my plow. That's a great line too. Bernie Taupin is such a great lyricist here. This is some amazing song. I love this song. It's amazing. I'm gonna just say every song on here is amazing, but this song is amazing.
Yeah, I love this song too. Ever since I first heard it, I love the Wizard of Oz parallels on this song. I'm a big fan of that movie, and Oz is kind of ingrained in my brain right now, especially after the Wicked movie. But that's a different story. But yeah, I've always liked this one. It's probably got one of the most beautiful choruses out of any Elton John song. I love the high notes that he belts on it. Even the message of hopefulness, and it's like the grass ain't always greener on the other side, so be content with what you got. I do like the message of this song. I even like how it's executed in the Rocket Man movie, where this was his like reflection song after years of drug abuse, and him realizing that he's shutting people out. He uses this song to get to clean himself up and get back to where he needs to be. Let's get to the next song. And this song has no title. No
Well,
joke. That's the name of the song.
Well, we hit 3 songs in a row that didn't even make my top 10. Well, we go from that to, in my opinion, the best song on the album. Yeah, this song has no title. It's my absolute favorite on the album.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit on the shorter side, but I remember when I first heard this song, it was with Scott because Scott was introducing me to this album. I heard this song and I was just mind blown of how good it was. It is a really, really good song. It's not like complicated or intricate, but it's just one of those songs that's just really, really good.
So Elton John's like, they're like, oh, so what are you calling this song, Elton? Oh, the song has no title. Oh, so you wait until later to give it a title? No, the song has no title. Okay, so we're gonna make a title later, right? No, you don't understand. That's the title. It's a little bit ironic at the same time. Yeah, I thought this was overall a pretty good song. That I don't remember a lot about it on top of my mind. I didn't really write anything about it except that I thought it was pretty good.
So much like Led Zeppelin's 4th album, great music does not always need a title. I really like this song. Interesting factoid about this song is that this is the only song on the album that Elton John plays and sings every instrument on this song. It's all him, kind of overdubbing. So I think that's interesting. It's one of the shorter songs on the album, but I think it doesn't really overstay its welcome. I think I kind of like the fact that it's a shorter song to complement some of the longer songs. It's kind of just like a fun little ditty that you get here. I like the part where he says this song has no title; it's just words in a tune, and he does a lot of vocal overdubs at that part. Like it starts out with him playing the piano and he's singing about how he wants to like visit the artists or something like that, and just like take me back to the artists. But then when you get to the chorus, it's like this song has no title; it's just words in a tune. It's just a fun song. I like it.
All right. So this one, I'd say this is probably one of the weaker songs on the album for me. I will give it this. It is short. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And I do like this song for what it is. I do think the hook of the song is what really sells me on why it's a pretty ingenious song. This song has no title, but there's words and lyrics. And that's more important than the title because, you got to have memorable lyrics to make a great song. But I think this is one of those cases where when you have an album, particularly a double album, where there's a ton of great songs on here, it's like some of them have to be lower on the list, and this one's one of those for me. Let me follow that up with Gray Seal.
Yeah, this is another really good song on the album. This barely missed my top 5, actually. Made my top 10, but barely missed my top 5. It's another really, really nice song on the album. Again, nothing really say about the song. It's just one of the songs where it's just like, this is a really nice song on the album. I really liked it while I was listening to it. One of the highlights for me.
Yeah, to me, this was the best song on the album that wasn't a big hit. Like, I thought this was such a great song. I thought, man, you put this on the radio, this to me would have been a hit song. At least for me, I would have loved it. Yeah, one of the best discoveries on this album, I think, is this song, Gray Seal, which you would not know the song unless you heard this album. Man, it's so good. It's super upbeat. I thought the drum beat was really good on here. Love the piano playing, some fast piano playing on here, really good. What really I love about it is that chorus, because I feel like it's like pretty good, the melody and everything, and like the verses are going pretty good, and you're like, it's pretty good. And then something about the chorus. When they get to the chorus, it feels like it, I don't know, steps it up a little bit. Feels like maybe it gets a little faster or something.
Key change.
Key change. Okay, that's it. Yeah, there's like a key change. I feel like maybe some backing vocals come in, some other instruments come in, like electric guitar. It just feels like it's a fuller sound on the chorus, and I just loved it. Like when we got to that chorus, all of a sudden it just felt like it picked up a little bit, and there's more just more sound, and just you're like, whoa, my gosh, I love it. Like love all that comes in, that chorus, all the sounds that come in, and how it kind of just steps up a level, I guess, on the chorus for me. Yeah, so it's like, man, I absolutely love the chorus on here, and overall, just a really excellent song.
Okay, so I think Elton John had written this song around the time of Tumbleweed Connection, ? But he just kind of never put it on any of his albums, and he kind of picked it back up. I'm glad that he didn't put it on any of his older albums, because like the sound of this album is the sound that he needed for this song. Just going out with that all-out production, starting out with that frantic piano, and then you kind of get like some really great drumming there from Nigel Olsson on the verses. And then Jason was talking about how like the chorus has like a completely different sound than the verses. I love that. So it's kind of an odd key change, but I think it's really cool. Did I hear some Mellotron in there too, or was that actual strings? I think I heard some Mellotron in there in the chorus. But the chorus is super catchy too. Tell me, Gracie, how does it feel to be so wise? Tell me, Gracie. It's just super cool. It's a fun song. I really like this one. I was about to say this goes for my vote for most underrated song on the album, but there's one or two other songs on here that I think deserve that honor as well. Maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, this is a great song. I agree with you guys. This is one of the best discoveries on this album. I really love the chorus, the intense playing on this song, particularly the piano. I did look it up. There is a mellotron on this song, which I thought was a string section. So, Scott, you do a better job at picking out a mellotron than I can. So. But yeah, I don't have much left to add on this one. I think this is a great rocking song from Elton that just so happened to make my top 10. But we go from rocking to reggae with Jamaica Jerk Off.
Is this going to be like Cheerio Baby, Jacob?
We're just going to have to find out.
Well, this is one of my favorites on the album. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to reveal it, but it made it really, really high on my song ranking.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like when reggae gets done right, I really enjoy it. Like, I like Luxury from the It's Only Rock and Roll album. I really like Vital Signs from Rush. So I like reggae when it's done right, and I think it's done right here. Really, really fun song. I get it. It's a little out there, but you know what? I love how out there it is. This is one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah, I would say this is probably my least favorite song title. When I first was like, Jamaica Jerk Off, what the heck is like, I was like, I don't know about this, but then you listen to it and it's like, oh, it's like this. I call it Caribbean, but reggae, I guess maybe better choice on there, because I was like, oh, I like this kind of Caribbean style. It's very fun, upbeat, and I just kind of found myself going, man, I just like that we're getting different stuff here, like your guys are talking about. I mean, you're getting some really good ballads, like almost kind of sad ballad with Count on the Wind, fun rocker with Benny and the Jets, and then you get this, and it's like, oh, this is cool, this is different. Because I remember we were talking about one of our album exchange albums, which was Daltrey, and I said in my review, Daltrey, every song was like a piano ballad. It felt like the same song over and over. It was pretty good piano ballads, but I was getting kind of bored of piano ballads by the end of that album, Daltrey, and I said, I wish he would have put in like a good rock song or a good pop song to mix it up. And that's what I like so far about this album. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's like mixing it up, doing some different stuff. And so, yeah, I like the song. I thought it was a lot of fun.
That really is the strength of this album, is that he's doing something different with each of the songs, but yet each of the songs is different, but yet similar in just enough way that it still sounds like a cohesive work. Like some albums, you'll have a song and then something sounds completely different. You're like, oh, this is on the same album? But this one, like, even though they do sound very different, like you can still tell they're part of the same album. I like that about this album. What I love about this song is that this song is credited to Reggae Dwight and Toots Toppin in the liner notes.
Reggae, right?
Reggae Dwight. If you
Reggie.
don't know, Reggie Dwight is Elton John's
Yeah.
actual name.
Reginald White.
So I think that's kind of a funny little nod to that.
Yeah.
But this song is very dumb. It is very different than anything else on the album. But you know what? I feel like Elton John and Bernie Taupin were just having fun with this one. They just wanted to kick back and have fun and do a reggae song. You know, if Elton John wants to do a reggae song, he can do a reggae song, even if it's a little dumb. It's not going to be in my top 10, but I'll enjoy it for what it is.
All right. So yeah, this is definitely the most out there title on the album. I was like, what kind of a song is this? But then you listen to the song, it's like, it's a reggae song. And Elton John's doing a goofy accent. But yet the song is like a travelogue of going to Jamaica. I'm like, okay, I can vibe with this. It's not my favorite song on the album, but I do like how catchy it is. I kind of like the stupidity of it, to be honest. I don't think it's near an earworm as Cherry O Baby off the Black and Blue album, which I'm like the only person that likes that song, apparently. But this is still a fun song for what it is. It didn't quite make the top 10, but I'll call it an honorable mention just because of how catchy it is. All right, and then we close out the first half of this album, the first two sides, if you have the record.
I do. Right here.
I've seen that movie too.
This is another song that was really good. Great way to close out the first disc on the record. Another song that was fighting to make my top 5 on the album, but didn't quite make the top 5. Another creamily underrated song, if you're asking me. Very, very enjoyable. Just another great Elton John song.
Yeah, it's funny. The when I was listening to this, the description that came to my mind is serious. I don't know what the exact song's about, but just the style, just the sound, I just got this very serious vibe about it. It's kind of interesting. I was like, this sounds like a very serious song. I mean, coming off the Jamaica Jerk Off, and then you get this song, like, wow, it's like we really going back to serious. It's a much slower style song. Feels like one of the slower songs on that album. But I really like the chorus. I thought the chorus was really good. Overall, it's very good, piano and very good overall, El John's, really good. And so to me, it's like, it's not as good as the past 7 songs. I would say it's a bit of a drop off at this point, but still a pretty good song.
I really like this song. This is another one that I feel is one of the most underrated ones here. How it starts out with that piano, that it sounds like it could have been an outtake from his first, well, technically second, but from his self-titled album. But then as the song goes on, the band kicks in later, and you get to the centerpiece, Davy Johnstone's reversed guitar solo. Oh my goodness. That every time I hear that, it's just like wow. Like bone chilling. Good way I should describe it. But it sounds like his guitar is getting sucked out of the record because they recorded it backwards. But it's super cool. This is a super underrated song. I love this one.
All right. This is another great song on the album. Great ballad on the album. There's some great lyrics and great storytelling on this album, detailing this failed relationship and how two-faced the one side is, and how I'm not really buying the drama because I've seen it in the movies. I'm like, dang, that's a smart line. I like that.
Bernie Taupin.
That's great. I do. This is the second longest song on the album, clocking at about 6 minutes.
It doesn't feel like 6 minutes.
It doesn't feel like it though. It's a really great ballad. Some great piano work on it. I think there's some strings on here that's really good, or that could be the Mellotron again. I'm not so sure at this point. I feel like
it's real strings. But
every time I'm trying to figure that out, I'm wondering if I'm in the Matrix or not.
let me consult the album.
So, but I do really like this one.
It's real strings. It says
Okay.
orchestral arrangements by Del Newman. It's real strings this time.
This one was just shy of making my top 10, but it's still really, really good. Well, now we flip the record onto the second half of the album. This side 3 or whatever you want to call it. This is
I'm gonna call this the dark side.
It is kind of the dark side when you think about it.
We go from peppy songs to gangsters and prostitutes.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we start off with the prostitute song, Sweet Painted Lady.
Well, not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of with Scott at first, where I wasn't crazy about the third side of the record, but the more I've listened to this album, the more I'm really liking the third side. And you know what? I barely pay attention to the lyrics for Elton John because most of the time I'm just paying attention to nice melodies. So that was never the problem for me about this third side. It was just not as, I don't know, it just didn't grab me like the other songs, like the other side. So I never really had a problem with the lyrics because I never really paid attention to them. I guess this is the prostitute song. This is actually one of my favorite songs in the album because of how nice sounding it is. This song and another song on this side have shot up my ranking drastically. Like songs that were like not even in my top 10 to like songs that are in my top 5. So yeah, this song really grew on me. This is one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah, this is where the album goes through not a good part of the album. I guess it's my least favorite part of the whole album is like the next 5 songs or so.
Side 3.
Like to me, it's just like a lot of mediocre, not that great. Starting with this one, I thought it was just, it was okay. A little slow. Overall melody's okay. Singing's okay. All that stuff. I did like the horns. There's some horns I heard in there. And I swear I heard an accordion. I hear a sound. I'm like, I think that's accordion. I always love when I hear an accordion in a song. So I did like some of that in here, but yeah.
You saying that some of the songs on here are a picture of the type of people that were in the town that Elton John was recording in, that made this third side of this records make a lot more sense. I feel like Bernie Taupin is trying to call out some of the junk that's going on in the town on this third side of this album. I feel kind of like the point of this song is that the prostitute wants to get out of this lifestyle, but it's told from the perspective of the guys and how they don't really see her as a person, kind of like echoing Candle in the Wind almost. Kind of an interesting mirror there. Musically, this song is all right. It's definitely one of my least favorites on the album, but I will say that it definitely grew on me listening to it today. I think it's okay. I do like the piano though.
All right, so apparently I didn't pay attention to the lyrics of this song when I first heard it the first time. Then when I was listening to it again, I'm like, oh, we're going there. Yeah, well, it doesn't help when in the chorus it's like, this woman gets paid when she gets laid. It's the name of the game. I'm like, oh, okay. But I gotta be honest, production wise, there's some great stuff on here. Jason mentioned the accordion. It does have a very lush production to it, and even lyrically, like, it doesn't hurt my enjoyment of the song that it's a dark song with dark subject matter. But it is my least favorite song on the album. But still not a bad song by any means. I think there's worse songs on some of the other albums that we've covered that were more forgettable. At least this one has a pretty good melody to it. All right, now we go to the gangster song, The Ballad of Danny Bailey. And it even lists his lifespan, 1909 to 1934.
Yeah, you know, This song was actually my least favorite on the album when I first heard it. I didn't like it at all. Now it's one of my favorite songs on the album. This made my top 3 actually.
Okay.
It's actually I love. This is like one of the few songs I'd actually pay attention to the lyrics to, and lyrically, this is a really cool song. You know, this kind of reminds me of "Have Mercy on the Criminal" a tiny bit because you know we're taking a look at a criminal, and I love the lyrics on the song. And yeah, this to me, this is a huge highlight on the album for me. This is the song that grew on me the absolute most. I love this song.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was an okay song overall. Best part of it, I think, is it was like a storytelling song, telling a story about Danny Bailey and getting. I think he gets shot at some point. If I remember right, and I didn't know who Danny Bailey was. I was like, is this a real person or is this a made up character? I don't know, but I like the storytelling aspect of it. Musically, it didn't do much for me. It was just like okay, everything else, but it was interesting.
This song grew on me a lot listening to it today. I thought it was really good. I like how the drums almost sound like gunshots at times. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Retelling the life of this gangster and his eventual demise. I think it's a cool storytelling songs, and it's one of my favorites on this third side of the record.
All right, so I've listened to this album twice, and listening to it, this song did make my top 10. I think this is a really epic storytelling song. I do agree this is very similar to Have Mercy on the Criminal. I like that latter song better. My favorite song on Don't Shoot Me. But this is still a really good storytelling song. There was some epic piano playing here. And I thought there were some really neat things about this song that I got to give absolute respect for. Next up, I would call this the
diss track.
The diss track. I was going to say the girl shaming song, but diss track works better. Dirty Little Girl.
This is the stupid girl of the album.
I'm going to be honest. This is one of my least favorites on the album, if I'm being honest. This was always one of my least favorites on the album, and it's still towards the bottom of the list. It's not bad per se. This doesn't feel like an Elton John song, if I'm being honest. Like, it sounds like if the Rolling Stones tried making an Elton John style song, but
yeah, it kind of does.
Like it's like if Keith Richard was like, "Hey Mick, you see that Elton John guy? Maybe we should do something like that."
He's copying us with his song "Shoestrings on Louise." What we gonna do about that? Huh?
Well, Kate, I think we should make something dirty because we're dirty walkers.
That's right. I'm gonna live to be 100, even though I smoke dope. All right.
Yeah. Even though Brian Jones died of it, I'm gonna live way past him, even though I did worse.
All those years that Brian lost are gonna go to me because I took his spot as lead guitarist. I'm Keith Richards.
Anyways, yeah, I like it. It's decent, but yeah, to me, this is. I mean, my least favorite my least favorite song on the album is a hot take, but yeah, this is my second least favorite song on the album.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably my least favorite song on the album. I didn't care for it. I overall was pretty bored with it. It wasn't a beautiful ballad. It wasn't a catchy pop or rock song. It's just overall just meh. Didn't care for it.
Yeah, this is probably one of my least favorite songs on the album. There are some cool things musically going on, but I don't know. I don't like the chorus. I don't like that the hook is, "I'm going to tell the world you're a dirty little girl, go give the girl a bath." I'm like, what the heck? Here I was talking about how great Bernie Taupin was as a lyricist, and now we get the, like, all great writers have a few songs that aren't that great. This is not one of Bernie's brightest moments. I'm not going to let it hurt my score of the album because it's not too long of a song, and I think the music is pretty good, but someone give that girl a bath because you're a dirty little girl. Not your brightest moment, Bernie. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think this is one of the weaker songs on the album. This is in my bottom three. I don't hate it. I do like the guitars on this song. I like how rocking it is. It does feel a little too mean for its own good. I don't think somebody compared this to "Stupid Girl" by the Rolling Stones. Well, "Stupid Girl" was a satire, and a funny satire at that. That's one of the best Rolling Stone songs of the '60s. This one, I don't really get the humor of this song, and it felt a little too mean. Although I will admit I bet she hadn't had a bath cracked me up when I listened to it. I thought that was a funny line. So aside from that, I was like, this is a weird song. Um, it's not bad. It doesn't hurt my score on the album, but it's definitely one of the weaker songs. But then we close out the dark side with "All the Girls Love Alice."
Well, funny enough, this was the third song that was competing to make my top 10. Well, you saw that I didn't put Yellow Brick Road or Benny and the Jets in my top 10. So this was the song that beat those two songs and making my top 10. And it's another song that really grew on me. It's still not like one of my favorites on the album, but I really, really enjoy this song. It's another criminally underrated song on the album. I'd say side three in general is really underrated. Like it's one of those songs where I feel like you have to pay more attention to than the other four sides. I feel like the other four sides is more it grabs you faster, but this third side really grew on me. It wasn't right away either. It took me like 5, 6 times to listen to this album to really get into this third side. But yeah, another highlight on the album for me. Yeah, 3 out of the 4 songs on side two. Not side two, side three in my top 10.
Yeah, this is probably my second least favorite song on the album. I definitely will say like these are my two least favorite. Dirty Little Girl, All the Girls, like right in a row. Like two songs I just thought just didn't care for. Just didn't have anything that grabbed me. Like I guess Nick was saying, like I don't know, lyrically, musically, melody. I don't know. Nothing grabbed me on it. Don't really remember it. And I started feeling like this album's a little long. I wish they would have cut some of these songs out. This would have been a better album. I would have cut these 2 songs out personally, but that's me.
This is a very dark song. This is a very, very dark song. It's about a straight woman who's only like 14 or something and gets mixed up as a lesbian prostitute. Can't find a way out of her life and ends up killing herself.
Oh my god.
That's what this song is about.
That's about.
That's dark. That's very dark. But the music is too good. I'm like, I don't know what Bernie, I don't know what you're trying to do lyrically here, trying to bring light to something. I don't know, but man, does Davy Johnstone have a great guitar riff on this song with that cool warbly effect. And then the outro where he's doing that guitar riff and there's like the radio sound effects. Super cool. So I musically love this song, but it's like this is a very dark song lyrically. So I kind of have mixed thoughts about it.
So this is the second gay song I've heard today. This morning I heard "When the Whip Comes Down" from Some Girls by Rolling Stones. So, all right. So All the Girls Love Alice. Very dark song. Scott already mentioned the lyrical content of it. But this song actually did make my top 10. I think the storytelling, like what's crazy about this song is this is one of the heaviest rockers on the album. I love the guitar work on here. There's some cool, I think, synthesizers on here that's really cool, or an organ or something like that. Like, I'm like, oh man, like I'm really vibing a lot to this song. You have that mixed with the darker storytelling about this poor girl named Alice that gets in this horrible situation. It's like, I don't know. Do I feel bad for this song, or am I too busy rocking out to how awesome it is?
I know. I feel so guilty every time I hear it. I'm like, poor Alice, but
Yes, but that's kind of interesting little contrast there. But This is one of the biggest earworms on the album. I gotta give it that. I don't know what else I have to add, but this is one of the highlights on the album for me. So I guess moral of the story is, ladies, don't get caught in prostitution because it'll
There are
mess
two
you up.
songs about that on this.
Whether you're
And
out
one
of
song
Vegas
about
or
not
Planet
getting
Lady.
and one song about not being a gangster.
Both of them, but both of them, all three of those songs make my top 10.
And they're all
Right.
my bottom 17.
All right. So next up, your sister can't twist, but she can rock and roll.
Yeah, this is another song that kind of grew on me. I thought this was an okay song when I first heard it, but definitely a song that heavily grew on me. It's another really great rock song. Definitely a great way to open up the fourth side of the record. I mean, you have those four dark songs, and then you open up this song, and it's like your sister can't dance. It's like now we're going with this. It's like it's like, is it gonna be a dark album or is it gonna be what album do you want it to be, Elton John? And that's the magic of it. I love the non-knowing of things. So I thought this was another big highlight. This made my top 10.
Yeah, the song was okay. It was an upbeat rock song. I feel like to me, my favorite like songs like these are Benny and the Jets and Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting and Crocodile Rock. Like I like those songs much better than this one as far as like the upbeat rock songs. But overall, it was okay, better than the last like two songs.
I think this song is a blast. I love the kind of 1950s feel to it, but it's super fast. And I like how it kind of calls back to Twist and Shout at the beginning with the ah, ah, ah. Your sister can't twist, but she can rock and roll. Your sister can't. Yeah, I like how fast he sings that. It's almost like a Chuck Berry kind of sounding thing. And then right in the middle, it goes the circus song. I'm like, that's hilarious. It's like a self parody of 1950s rock and roll because right after that, we're gonna have some heavy rock and roll. I like how it's kind of like We Were Rocky and We Are the Champions. It goes like right into the next song, which we'll talk about in just a minute.
Yeah, I think this is a cool song. Definitely a love letter to 1950s rock and roll. I know Elton was big into that. I know like Little Richard was an early influence of his, and Fats Domino, especially for his piano playing. So it's cool that he did a song that paid tribute to the artists that he greatly admired. Very catchy song. It's got a great hook to it. Didn't quite make my top 5, but still probably would have made my top 5 or top 10 if this was a shorter album, but still a really good song in its own right. Then we follow that up with the other big hit from the album, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
I'm sorry, but this has never been one of my favorite Elton John songs. I hear this on the radio. I'm like, how is this a hit song? I never got that because I always thought there was so many other better songs on this album. I mean, of course, I'm very grateful that it wasn't Dirty Little Girl. I mean, even though this is my least favorite song on the album, I am happy Dirty Little Girl wasn't a hit song on this album either. But like, I think, song has no title, Gray Seal, Your Sister Can't Twist. I think those songs are much better, in my opinion. To me, this was always a bottom 3 for me, and as of right now, this is my least favorite song on the album.
Yeah, I really like this song. It's a great, catchy rock song. Well, my favorite part probably is the guitar. It's the best guitar riff in the whole album. Most of the songs, of course, it's the more piano, probably heavy, than guitar heavy. But this one's much more guitar heavy, which I kind of really enjoyed. I love that da 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 da. Ah, that guitar riff is so good at the beginning and kind of goes throughout the song. I thought was really cool. Yeah, it's just a super upbeat, catchy song. And of course, I've heard on the radio so many times, so maybe I'm so just used to it. When I hear it, I just start singing to it. Saturday, Saturday, Saturday. Not one of my favorite. Like I will say, like not one of my favorite Elton John songs. Like it's not a top 10 Elton John song, but still, I really like it.
This song rocks. This is the heaviest rock song on the album.
Yeah.
I love the guitar. This song is borderline Rolling Stones territory here. We were talking earlier about the Rolling Stones trying to sound like Elton John.
Yeah.
This is Elton John doing a Rolling Stones kind of sounding thing. I love the guitar riff. Ba-na-na, 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 ba-na-na. And then again, D. Murray on the bass. I said I was going to talk a lot about him. I haven't talked about him in a while because the songs on the third side, other than All the Girls Love Alice, haven't really had a whole lot of bass. But this one here, do-do-do-do-do. Really great bass here. Love just the raw energy of this. Especially, I like the part where it's like, whoa, and then the piano, phew!
Yeah.
Don't give us none of your aggravation. We had it with your discipline. Saturday night's a night I like. Saturday night's alright, alright, alright. Woo! Down, bound, bound, down, bound, down. And then at the end of the song, whenever they're jamming, Nigel Olsson just goes ham on the drums. He does like this triple cymbal release, which I think is interesting how he does that. They're just rocking out at the end of this song. He's like, he even goes like, woo, a few times at the end. They're just kind of kicking back and just jamming for a bit. I love this song. I saw him do it live, and he was having a blast doing it live. I love it. It's amazing. It's one of my favorites on the album.
I'll never forget one of the first times I heard this song. It was in a little movie called Romeo and Juliet.
No, that was the first time I heard it.
During a lawnmower racing scene. And then you have the characters going, Romeo, 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 Romeo. I rewatched that movie years later. That was a recent Celebrating Disney review, and that scene sucked.
What's even worse is that
This is what it made me want to go. Nomeo, 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 Suckio, Suckio, Suckio.
what's really bad is that was my introduction to Benny and the Jets too, and I like Benny and the Jets because of the scene where the gnome is on the computer and it plays Benny and the Jets when he's ordering like the big lawnmower.
At least I knew Benny and the Jets before watching that movie.
It's like he's like using the computer, and every time he clicks on something, it goes boom, boom, boom. Bum, bum, bum. And I thought that was cool. I'm like, what song is that?
The less said about Romeo and Juliet, the better.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What a try.
The only reason that movie has for existing is introducing me to Elton John. That is the only reason that movie has for existing.
Yeah. But yeah, this song rocks when it's not used in a awful Romeo and Juliet parody with gnomes. This song is easily the most rocking song on the album. It's more rocking than All the Girls Love Alice. But I've always been a fan of this song. I love the high energy it brings. The guitar riff is awesome. Elton was clearly having a ball singing this song. And I love singing along to the Saturday, Saturday, Saturday. I don't know what Nick was thinking, honestly. The least favorite, really? This is easily in my top 5. All the hit songs are in my top 5. This one is definitely up there.
I just think it's overrated, if I'm being honest. I never got the appeal of it. I'm like, this is one of the hit songs on the album. I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't. To me, it's too generic.
Yeah.
All right, well, we go from hard rocker to country inspired. Roy Rogers.
Well, I do know a thing about Aaron Rodgers.
It should be called Aaron Rodgers.
I was not
I didn't think about that. Yep.
yeah, in the country accent too.
I had to. I was like, I wanted to surprise you guys. I wanted to be like, how can I implement the Jets one more time in this video? I'm like,
man, I spent so much time.
Aaron Rodgers.
I spent so much time planning that Family Man joke in that Fleetwood Mac review, and yet that one joke that you spent just a few minutes planning was funnier than that.
I'm like, I looked at the title. I'm like, Roy Rogers, Aaron Rodgers. Anyways, the song itself. I really like this song. This is another song that I really enjoyed on the album. This made my top 10. I love the country aspect of it. To me, this is another big highlight in the album for me.
I agree. I thought this was a really good song. I yeah, the melody really good. I love we got some orchestra in here. It was really good. Really cool chorus. And what I love about the song, and I need to listen to it again and look at the lyrics more maybe. But my feeling was because it's like he was talking about like it sounds like he's talking about maybe his childhood of like oh remember because you always think about your childhood. It's like man, it was so great when you were a kid and you weren't an adult and you had all these responsibilities and you had to go to work and like that. But man, being a child and looking forward to your favorite TV show or something like that and going home and doing all this kind of child stuff. That's what it made me think of, like when I was listening to the song. And so it was, I don't know, it's a really cool feeling to it, of like, because he's talking about, remember those nights of watching, Roy Rogers, which was, I believe he was like a singing cowboy or something like that, and maybe had a TV show or something back in the day. So I don't know, the whole sentiment of the song I really liked. And he talks about other things. Again, I don't remember everything. I remember him talking about he doesn't like ham in a sandwich, but he likes cheese or something like that. I don't know. So it was interesting. I
Wait,
thought the
what?
lyrics were really cool. I thought, okay, it sounds like it sounds like almost like a personal song talking about like childhood. So I really love that aspect of it. So yeah, it was another really great song, another hidden gem.
I'm trying to find about. I'd rather have ham in my sandwich than cheese.
Yeah.
They call me sweet like I'm some kind of cheese.
Oh, okay. Okay. Taking a quick glance at the lyrics, I can kind of understand where it's coming from now. So, Roy Rogers, I know, was one of Bernie Taupin's childhood heroes, and I think that what this song is doing is longing for those days because he's talking about all those things like about ham sandwiches and Roy Rogers. And the very last line of this song I just looked is something about while the wife and the kids are in bed. So I think this is Bernie Taupin as an adult looking back and saying like being an adult sucks. I want to go back to the days of Roy Rogers and ham sandwiches.
Yeah.
So I think that's fun, and I like the country feel because Roy Rogers was a cowboy movie star. So kind of paying homage to that.
All right, this is another great song on the album. This one is also in my top 10. I love the sentiment behind it, even though I'm not really that familiar with Roy Rogers. I know of him. The only real thing I've seen him in, he did the Disney cartoon with Pecos Bill anytime. Jason's favorite cartoon. He even did that catchy little theme song about Pecos Bill. And all jokes aside, the sentiment of nostalgia is really real in this song. And I think there's some great lyrics about that where, like, even though I can't relate to the Roy Rogers aspect, but the whole idea of, like, looking back on your childhood and
if the song was called Blue's Clues.
Yeah, if it was Blue's Clues or Thomas the Tank Engine or something, I still would probably love this song. But yeah, I do love the country influence on here. I think this one's a little bit more country than most of the songs on Tumbleweed Connection, so I'm surprised it's not on that album. But it's still a great song on this album. But yeah, this one, like I said, made my top 10. All right, our second to last song, Social Disease.
Okay, social disease. Yeah, this is another really enjoyable song on the album. Funny enough, this is one of the songs I didn't. This is one of the few songs that didn't make my top 10. Yeah, like a lot of songs are just top 10, top 10, top 10, and then one of the 7 songs that didn't make my top 10. I liked it. It's a good song, just not one of my absolute favorites. I'm gonna be honest, it's in my bottom 3.
Yeah, so this to me was the most country song on the album. It had like a banjo in it. So to me, it was like, oh, this is like the country song. Again, he's doing different stuff on the album, like I said. He's got the reggae song and he's got all these different styles. And So I was like, okay, that's fine. He's doing a country song. As long as the whole album's not country, it's like, okay. To me, it's like, it was okay. It was very upbeat. It was, yeah, definitely towards the bottom of my list, but it was all right.
I feel like of all the songs on this album, this is kind of the one that's just there. Maybe I need to listen to it more, but it's kind of ranks kind of near the like bottom middle. I think it's good. I think the hook is funny. I'm a social disease. I think that's funny, but it's not as memorable as some of the other stuff here on the album.
All right, so I'm probably the biggest country guy in the group. And so you might be wondering, where is this going to rank? Is this going to make it in the top 10, top 5? No, it's not in the top 10. Okay. I think this is a good, not great song. It's one of the weaker songs on the album. There's this one part of the album or this song that's a little bit weird. It starts off, I don't know if it's like a technical glitch when I listen to it. I don't know if it's on everybody's copy, but it starts off like really, really soft. And I thought something was wrong with the recording. But it gradually gets louder. I'm like, that's a weird choice for a song like this. But I do like the banjo on here. There's some interesting lyrics, and I do get a kick of the way Elton John words. He's like, I'm a social disease. Like, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite on the album, but it's still really good. I think when you're following up Roy Rogers, it can't even compete. So, well, then we get to our album closer. I did read, I will say this song was intended to be the 5th single off this album, but it was canceled because by the time they got to a 5th single, Caribou was about to come out, and they wanted to promote the new songs instead. So
the new hit single from Caribou, which we can't say on the radio.
Yeah. So what could have been Harmony.
You know what? I'm happy this wasn't a single. This did not sound like a single. This would have been another one of the. This would have been like Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, where I would have been like, like if that was an alternate reality where it was released a single, I would have been like, this would have been another song where I'm like, really, this was a single, this was a hit single. What? I'm actually happy it wasn't a single because the song actually ranked higher because of that, because I didn't hear it on the radio a lot. It's a good album closer, just not a great album closer. Another song that didn't make my top 10. It's good, just not one of my favorites.
Man, I feel like we agreed on 2 songs so far, Nick. If I look at I think we agreed on Benny the Jets and Jamaica Jerk-Off. I think that's about it.
I know.
Those 2 songs.
Those are the songs that people like traditionally think are the best and the worst song on this album.
I know, it's
those are the ones you agreed on.
I feel like we agreed on that, maybe the first song, but then I feel like we've been disagreeing a lot on this album, and we'll probably both give it high scores.
Yeah, that's the sign it's a good album, though.
That's the funny part of the whole thing.
That's the good thing. That's the sign that this is a good album. If we think that different songs are the best ones on the album.
I mean, take Mirage. No, it was either Mirage or Tango Night where none of us agreed on like the top 10.
Like I think that was Tango in the Night.
Yeah, it was Tango in the Night where like no one was agreeing with me, no one was agreeing with Jason, no one was agreeing with anyone. We're just
like
on completely different wavelengths.
Is it bad that maybe Family Man is now my favorite song on that album?
I mean, with little lies on the album, I might disagree with you.
I might disagree.
I said maybe. They're going to be the one that sets me.
While you're saying that, like, not your top 10, like, this is definitely a top 10 song for me. This was one of my favorite songs on the album, Harmony. I thought it was a great closer. I thought it was real catchy, great melody, great chorus, backing vocals great. I don't know, I just love when he does this, like, he sings something like, Harmony and me, blah, blah, I love you, or something. And I love that. I was like, oh, that is so good when he goes into that Harmony and me and all that. Oh, yeah, very catchy song. Definitely a top 10 for me.
I wish they would have released this as a single sooner. I understand your new album is out, and releasing singles from your old album is going to hurt the chart position of your new one or this single. But this is a good song. They would have definitely like shed some more light on this song. I love the opening, how it just goes straight into boom, hello, baby, hello. I think that's a really cool way to open the song, and I love the chorus, the harmony. This is a really underrated song. If you've not heard this song, check it out. It's a really good closer.
All right.
And I'm going to go ahead and make my top 10 list. If anyone sees me with my phone, what I'm doing is making my top 10 list.
Well, I'm already covered my top 10 I worked on before we went live. But not only is Harmony in my top 10, this will make my top 5.
Ooh.
I love this song. This is a beautiful, beautiful ballad. Great way to close off this album. I love the chorus. Harmony and me, make a little melody. And then the backing vocals like chime in after that. I'm like, oh man, I'm getting goosebumps listening to this song. Like the piano work is really good. Like it's a shorter song compared to most on this album, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's got the 2 verses, it's got the chorus, and I love the overall flow of this song. It's a shame this wasn't a single because this probably would have been a huge hit for him if it was, but I know there's some great songs on the Caribou album that we'll talk about that on the next review. But yeah, great way to close off this album. All right. The album is done. Now what is everybody's top 10?
Top 10. Heck yeah. I have 4 honorable mentions. Harmony, Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jets, and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Those are my honorable mentions. Number 10, All the Girls Love Alice. Number 9, Your Sister Can't Twist, but she can rock and roll. Number 8, Aaron Rodgers. Number 7, I've seen that movie too. Number 6, Gray Seal. Number 5, the song that was competing against those other 2 songs, Feel for a Friend / Love Lies Bleeding. Number 4, Sweet Painted Lady. Number 3, The Ballad of Denny Bailey. Number 2, Jamaica Jerk Off. And number 1, the song has the title. That is my Jamaica Jerk Off.
Jamaica Jerk Off is number 2.
Jamaica Jerk Off is my second favorite song on the album. Ever since I heard this album,
It needs some love.
It has always been my second favorite song. Song has no title and Jamaica Jerk Off has always been my 2 favorite songs on the album. From the first time I heard this album with Scott to now, it has always been my 2 favorites on the album. And
Wow.
it'll
I
never
remember,
change.
I remember listening to this album too. I remember. Okay, Jason.
All right, number 10, I'm going to go with Jamaica Jerk Off. Made in my top 10.
Yes.
Number 9, I've got This Song Has No Title. Number 8, I've got Roy Rogers. Number 7, Harmony. 6, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. 5, Funeral for a Friend / Love Lies Bleeding. 4, Gray Seal. 3, Candle in the Wind. 2, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And number 1 is Benny and the Jets.
That's crazy. With all the disagreeing, we agreed on number 5 and number 8.
Yeah, we have the same on those 2.
I thought we would not agree on anything.
Yeah.
Okay, my honorable mentions are going to be Your Sister Can't Twist, but She Can Rock and Roll. This Song Has No Title, and Roy Rogers. And then my top 10 is number 10 is The Ballad of Danny Bailey. Number 9 is Harmony. Number 8 is Candle in the Wind. Number 7 is Gray Seal. Number 6 is I've Seen That Movie Too. Number 5, All the Girls Love Alice. Number 4, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Number 3, Benny and the Jets. Number 2, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. And number 1, Funeral for a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding.
All right. I got 3 honorable mentions. Your Sister Can't Twist. Jamaica Jerk Off. And I've Seen That Movie Too. My number 10, Gray Seal. Number 9, The Ballad of Danny Bailey. Number 8, Roy Rogers. Number 7, Funeral for a Friend / Love Lies Bleeding. Number 6, All the Girls Love Alice. Number 5, Candle in the Wind. Number 4, Harmony. Number 3, Saturday Night's All Right. Number 2, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And number 1, Benny and the Jets.
Oh, it's same top 2.
That's in everyone's top 5, but Nick. That's all right, Nick. Though.
I feel not. I don't feel bad at all. I think
I say I don't know if we agreed on anything except for Funeral for a Friend was almost top 5 for all 4 of us. It wasn't quite for.
You guys want to know something? I actually like when we disagree on stuff because I think it's funny.
You know what? With the, what's funny is that I had Opla Di Opla Da. I felt really bad for not having my guitar Jelly Weeps is my favorite song, but this song, I will proudly say Jamaica Jerk Off is the second best song on the album. I'm proud of saying that. I'm like with the White Album, I'm like, oh, I feel so bad. I'm the only one that doesn't have that as my favorite song. But this one, I'm like, I love that I have Jamaica Jerk Off as the second best song on the album. I even was gonna put it as my favorite song on the album, but then I heard the song has no title again. I'm like, nah, it has to be the song has no title. It will be the champion, but Jamaica Jerk Off was a close second. Close, like the teeniest bit. I was gonna have Jamaica.
They're right there, 1 and 2.
I feel like our lists, are fairly different. All 4.
Yeah.
They are. That's kind of the broad spectrum of this album. There's so many different musical styles and stuff on here.
I mean, it was mentioned earlier that this is comparable to the White Album, and the White Album had a lot of different styles as well. And our top 10 when we did that album was very, very, very varied depending on our tastes and preferences.
I will say nobody had Revolution number 9 in their top 5.
By the way,
there was somebody in the comments defending that song. I was like, okay.
Oh, by the way, guys, I have an announcement to make. My top 3 on the White Album is different. My 3 favorite songs on the album now is Why Don't We Do in the Road, Honey Pie, and Revolution 9.
He did a 180 on that.
Wow. Almost like there's some sarcasm in there.
What? Sarcasm? Nah.
All right. So what are we going to rate this album?
I'm going to have to go with 10 out of 10 with this one. This classic Elton John album. I may have disagreed with the top 10, but at the end of the day, all 17 of these songs are really good.
Oh, man. I'm giving this a 9.5. I can't quite give it 10. It's like, man, I want to give it 10. To be honest, it's my favorite Elton John album. But those 4 songs in the middle just kind of it's enough to make me go, I can't quite give it a 10 out of 10 because the first side of this album is so good. It's like so front loaded with, my 5 of my favorite songs are in the first 6 songs, or my 5 favorite songs in the album. And they're some of the best songs Elton John's ever done. So that's what still elevates it to 9.5. Plus the last part of the album was pretty good as well. So it still gets that 9.5. I just can't quite give it a 10.
I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. I know that I said there were some songs on here that I didn't like as much, but it's a double album. When you're listening to a double album, sometimes there's 1 or 2 songs that aren't going to be as good. As long as it's just 1 or 2, some double albums have an entire side worth of bad songs, or they're all scattered. There's 1 or 2 bad songs on each of the sides, and you're like, make it a single album, cut out the fat. This album is like, yeah, maybe there's a couple of songs I don't like as much, but they don't hurt my enjoyment of the album. I love it. It's a 10 out of 10.
I'm right there with you and Nick. 10 out of 10. This is, like I said at the beginning, this is the best double album I've probably heard at this point. At least there's no bad fat on it like Revolution 9 or Why Don't We Do It in the Road. Even the weakest songs on this album, like Dirty Girl and Sweet Painted Lady, they're not like awful songs by any means. But the rest of the songs on this album, man, some great, great stuff from Elton John. I can see why this is his signature album. I think I still prefer the self-titled and Don't Shoot Me over this album, but it's still a great album all the same. I will say, I'll reveal this now. I am actually logging all of my album discoveries for 2025 because it was hard doing the 2024.
Yeah.
That was a last minute thing.
True.
Which is, I actually technically listened to this album the first time at like the tail end. of 2024, but it was right after I did that live stream, so I'm counting this as a 2025 discovery. I will say I've listened to about 8 albums so far, and this one's my favorite discovery of the new year so far. So we'll see if that'll stay number one throughout the remainder of this year.
My 2025 album discoveries have been all over the place. I've been branching out and listening to all kinds of new stuff. I've been going from jazz to 50s rock and roll to 90s grunge. Like it's been actually really fun diving into some music that I wouldn't normally listen to, and I'm expanding my horizons, as you can see over my shoulder back. I mean, I know I kind of got into them this year, but I used to swear off anything made after 1989. Now I got Coldplay's first 4 albums, and those all came out in the 2000s. Those are not only some of my favorite albums of the 2000s, those are now like in my favorite albums of all time. I don't have to remake that list.
All right.
I think Viva La Vida might be in my top 10 favorite albums now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
That's cool. But I did average the scores real fast between the four of us.
Ivor.
It's a 9.75, which that is still really good. So I'm happy with that score.
well, as soon as Breyer gets done with making his top 100 albums, I'm redoing mine again.
It's
one,
gonna be a while before I redo mine. With all this new music I'm listening to,
Well,
there's
it's definitely changed.
yeah, I'm gonna have a more diverse
A more diverse list, it sounds
list
like.
now. There's gonna be some John Coltrane in there now. Some
Frank
Coldplay,
Sinatra,
Frank
probably.
Sinatra. In the wee small hours. That's a great album. I have that one. Maybe I'll put that instead of Coldplay on the next video in the
All
background.
right. Well, thank you all for tuning in to our review of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Thank you to those who commented on the live chat, and share your thoughts on this album in the comments below if you're watching the replay. Next time in the Elton John series, we'll be covering Caribou, the album that has a certain little song with a dirty word in the title that rhymes with witch, and that witch is back.
But don't let the sun go down on me.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up the live stream?
iconic album. I'm glad we got done with this review on time because around either 11:30ish or 11 o'clock-ish, me, Jason, and Scott and Briar will be doing our top 10 favorite Fleetwood Mac songs.
Oh,
We're
nice.
getting closer and closer to finishing Fleetwood Mac and closer and closer to starting Queen.
I'm so ready to start Queen.
I'm looking forward to starting Queen. I actually bought Queen 1 on vinyl recently.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's a good debut.
And it's not the new remix. I found the original. So,
The original. Good. Hold on to that.
So
Yeah. This is definitely an essential album that everybody needs to listen to, I think.
Yeah.
Along with Elton John's on this incredible run streak from, I think, Elton John to this album for sure. There's like 4 or 5 like number one albums in a row, and they're all really good. This is the best one, in my opinion.
Anything from Elton John through Rock of the Westies, in my opinion, is essential listening. Even Tumbleweed Connection, which I didn't care for as much, still listen to it. It's essential to understanding his other records. Last thing I want to say before we go is losing everything is like the sun going down on me. A little preview for the next album.
yeah. Well, I'm not gonna sing the other hit for obvious reasons, but
The Jets suck.
Dixie Lily is a great deep cut. I can't wait to talk about that one.
We're not going to see that on Jacob Sings episode.
Probably not.
Did it.
I'll be like, I'm the dog is back.
You could do a Jake Sings Halloween episode. I'm
The
a
witch
witch, I'm a
is
witch, the witch is
No goes on in the matter of that. Oh, the witch, oh, the witch is back. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all in the next one. You guys have a good night. Brought to you by the Jets.
Aaron and the Jets.